All right, so I want to share with you guys a book that I spent $60,000 to get a hold of. And I mean that literally. Some people call that college, some people call it a mastermind or a coaching group. But the fact is, I've probably spent or invested close to, I'm talking in recent 3 years, about maybe $80,000 on like mastermind groups, coaching, um, and whether it be in mindset, business, within the craft of health and fitness, metabolic optimization, functional medicine. There's a lot of self-investment that goes into yourself when you're trying to improve yourself, and when you're in business for yourself in any way, shape, or form. You don't have to be necessarily professionally, but you are in the business of yourself always and forever, the business of your health always and forever. And frankly, a lot of guys that I work with eventually go into running some type of business themselves if they're not already doing so, just because I think it just ends up being a calling for yourself to do more and to be more. And it's another challenge that we take on that ultimately improves everything around you. And that, all that to be said, you are investing into yourself when you are in this program. You are investing into people who invest into themselves, and that being around that is uncommon. And that's why we surround ourselves with those types of individuals. And I tell you that I spent $60,000 on this particular book because the program that I signed up for, the program, it was a business coaching group and mastermind. And a mastermind, if you're not familiar with that, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I would write that book down if you haven't read it. That is one of the best self-development books of our age, of our time. And he talks about the concept of mastermind, which is bringing two or more minds together with a common goal. And I'm paraphrasing here, is like adding 1 + 1 equaling 5. You can take this in any partnership or relationship you have in your life, whether it be with your wife, your girlfriend, your kids, your friends, your associates, your clients, whomever, yourself, and the relationship with the vision of your higher self. Having two or more minds with the same common goal makes you far more powerful than an individual, far more powerful than what you could ever achieve on your own. Look at the results that you've achieved within this program, whether you're a month in or you're 6 months in or you're 2 years in. Look at the progress that you've made in all aspects of your life, and you can undoubtedly say that you are better for investing into yourself and aligning yourself with the right type of people. One of the most catastrophic and toxic relationships that we can have is, I can relate it to women. If you got a toxic relationship with a girlfriend or a wife or a partner of any sort, and it's toxic, it impacts your whole entire life. It impacts your health. It impacts your well-being. It impacts your finances. It impacts everything. So having strong relationships in all facets of life are key to elevating yourself and becoming a better man and a better version of yourself for the future. So this $60,000 book is something that you can get a hold of for $10 a month. And you probably heard me talk about it if you've been with me for some time, but if you haven't, this book in particular, and it's coming through blurry. There we go. Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, Dr. Maxwell Maltz. And this is a book that was developed in the 60s. Cybernetics, when you break down cybernetics and what that word actually means, it's the psycho is the mind, the mentality, right? And cybernetics is the science of technology and communication. Cybernetics is technology and communication combined, and psycho is the mental state. So cybernetics means mental communication, and the mind and the brain and this whole system of visualization, manifestation, health, creating results achieving the unachievable, creating miracles in your life, achieving an extraordinary life, doing things that you set your mind to and actually achieving them and bringing them into reality. Cybernetics is the technology and the communication with the technology that is both within us and around us. So it states on the cover, tap into the power of your subconscious mind to improve your self-image, to learn how to use your positive past, set and achieve worthwhile goals, develop compassion, self-respect, and forgiveness. These are key. Cultivate the power of rational thinking and discover the key to a happier and more successful life. So when I signed up for this mastermind, the $60,000 mastermind, they sent me a copy of this book. And then this book, I downloaded the Audible version and I read this along with it. And I would go for my 10-minute walks at least 3 times a day to just take this information in, and I would apply it. And I can just read the cover and get a vast amount of insight. Just like if you anything you love and adore, anything that you have put a lot of time, effort, and energy into, it Clover, Clover. Okay, lay down. Nobody's there. And anytime you look at something that you've given a lot of time, energy, and effort into, you can look at it with appreciation. You can look at it with love and respect, and you don't have to think about what that image or what that thing gives you in terms of value. You can look at your kids, you can look at your business, you can look at your wife, you can look at your kid, your life as a whole, and you can just bring in a feeling of whatever that is, whether it's accomplishment, confidence, excitement, love, compassion, joy, happiness, etc. And you can look at other things that go, it makes me sick, I don't want to touch it, or it's overwhelming, right? And you've joined this program because your health and your well-being was overwhelming at one point, and now you're taking control of it. Now that you have some wins under your belt, now you're gaining confidence and understanding and a deeper level of consciousness that is causing you to think different. It's causing you to be different. It's causing you to get different results. And we're always getting results in life. Sometimes it's the results we want, and sometimes it's the results we don't want. And it's those results that we don't want that makes us pay attention more than anything, because psychology tells us more than ever. It's the pain, it's the fear of, the negative emotions that drive us to inaction or to action. And you've gone through enough pain to ultimately go, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I need to seek somebody who does know what I'm doing. And that's why I join masterminds. And you can be proactive about this too, by the way. It doesn't have to be a pain point where you're like, oh God, I'm been suffering or hurting with this XYZ situation or problem or thing for 6 months or a year or 3 years. You can just see it, experience it, and go, okay, I want to fix this. I need a solution. What's the go-to? What's the hack? Well, get in touch with somebody who has the results that you want at the level that you want to achieve them. That's the most important piece to all of this, is aligning yourself with the right information, the right people, the right environment. And so this book I bring up as an example to say your environment is shaping you in every way, shape, and form, and it's shaping your health and your well-being. I did a talk a few months ago that was the psychology of health, what it looks like and feels like to actually be healthy, and the feeling that makes it real. And to recap, it's waking up early and feeling energized and ready to take on the day. It's getting a good night of sleep. It's having a strong and healthy sex drive. It's having good control of your thoughts and your feelings. It is mental clarity. It is learning. It is growing. It is facing adversity with optimism and a positive approach. It is a healthy level of risk taking where you feel excitement and you feel 10 years, 15 years younger than what your chronological age is. You can look at points in time in your life when you were younger and go, God, I feel way better than I did back then. You know, that's you reversing time, essentially. You're gaining years and you're gaining life within those years. And so your input drives output. And so the information that you take in on a daily basis, on a consistent basis, every hour, every day, every minute, every second, every moment, you are shaping your mind, you're shaping your body, you're shaping your life. And we need to take 100% control of that. And hold on one second here. So sometimes the door pops open. That's why Clover was barking here. Okay. So you need to secure yourself, right? This is an example. Just secure the house, make sure everything's safe while I'm focused on this. And you got to protect yourself in terms of your health and your strength, and you got to protect your family, and you got to preserve the life that you've been building to continue to build off of it day in and day out. So a big part of this is the right information, being a constant learner, a constant student, a forever student, and always looking for things that are going to elevate you and take you to the next step. And what I love about this book is that it really makes you look within. So I'm highlighting this book in particular because I can give you 20 different books to look into and to dial in to optimize your life, your health, your results, and everything that you want to achieve. But this book in particular just makes you really look from within and realize that you could pay $60,000 for a program, but you really don't need the program. It's all within. The power and the structure and the energy is all within you. This program that you're a part of, I'm not going to say you don't need it. I'm going to say that it is empowering you to empower the power within yourself, right? The energy within yourself. You have all the ability and capability to achieve anything that you want in life. And this is just helping to fuel that. It's like, you know, a car, you can't drive a car without a steering wheel. You can't drive a car without the tires, right? So it's to say one part is more important than the other. It's not. They're all essential. I needed to join that program to get access to this book. And not only that, but pay the amount of money that made me just shut up and stop making excuses and pay attention to the information that they tell me to. You got to pay attention. It's really putting your energy in the form of money that you've cultivated and have earned because you put time, energy, and effort into earning that money. And money is just an exchange of energy where you give money or invest money into something that is going to give you more energy in return so that you can increase your accumulation of energy or your storage of energy, which is health, which is the literal energy that you feel day in and day out. It's your strength. It's your composure and your poise with your mind and being able to think clearly, talk clearly, communicate and express yourself to the best way possible to get the best results for everybody around you, to love and connect more with those around you. All those things on top of money, right? Allows you to accumulate more of all that so that you can invest into things that make you more pronounced and live a better life. And that program led me to this book, which allowed me to go into that book and apply it to the program and vice versa. And so the same thing goes for here or any other program that gives you more life, more energy. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend this book. If you've read it already, read it again. This is one that you'll come back to time and time again. And you don't learn. I love this saying by Bob Proctor, I'm paraphrasing it. But he's another great guy to follow, by the way, Bob Proctor. He said that you never learn something new when you reread a book. You just reveal more of yourself. And I'm really butchering that, but the point of that statement is that when you reread a book, you're not learning something new. You're just you're evolved. So the person who you are right now, this minute, is going to be different than the person who ends this call 20 minutes from now and starts thinking a little bit differently or a little bit more aware of the consciousness around you, of the things around you. Your consciousness is expanded. like going through this program, you realize more about yourself than you did previously. That's a signal for progress. That's a sign of progress, I should say. Just as you go into the weight room and let's say you do 10 reps of 100 pounds last week and you do 10 reps of 100 pounds this week, and no noticeable progression in your physical weight that you lifted, but perhaps maybe you had a little pain in your shoulder last week that you pushed through, but then this week you didn't feel any pain. It felt really good. Or maybe you went 3/4 or 7/8 of full range of motion last week, and then this week you went uh full range of motion, complete all the way to bottom, all the way to the top, and felt great, right? Or maybe you felt more explosive this week than last week, but it doesn't show on paper. But I guarantee you, next week or the following week, it's going to show on paper. And so the physical results that we get in life are just a result of what's happening underneath. That's the point of this book. That's the point of the information and the people that we surround ourselves with. You may have a conversation or hear something or listen to something or eat something that is good, healthy, and dense in the right information. I say that about food. Food is information. It's a collection of photons from the sun, ultimately. Whether a cow ate the grass that grew from the sun, and this cow is able to live because it lives in a world that requires sunlight. It is a collection of photons that ultimately give your body information. And if we eat the right foods, it gives us the right information, which means it's more in coherence and alignment. And those cells communicate with each other, and you're able to balance your hormones, optimize your energy, enhance your recovery, improve your strength. All those things improve. So everything has to be in alignment with all that. And so good information is absolutely vital to achieve the extraordinary results in our life. That input equals output. That information dictates what you're going to think and do and feel, and repeat that cycle over and over again. And, to bring another quote up, Aristotle, paraphrasing this one, but it's basically saying that excellence is a habit. Therefore, you are not you are the sum of the habits in your life. So if you want to be excellent at something, you got to look at your habits. If you need to look at your habits in more detail, you start looking at your thinking. You start looking at your thinking, you start looking at your self-image. And that's what this book is all about, is getting down to the self-image of how you view yourself, how you view yourself as a man, how you view yourself as a human, how you view yourself as a spirit, as a soul, or as the universe, or this physical world and the spiritual world, and the mental aspects of things. So this is really, really backed by science. So it really takes the woo-woo out of the mystic and all the stuff that I just talked about, and really applies it to science, hence cybernetics with the technology and communications. But the this book in particular, like I said, is just a great system that allows you to look at yourself and look at the root cause to what ultimately drives your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and thus your habits, and thus your results that you're going to get in life and continue to get in life. So the more we are aware of this, the more we can control, manipulate, and optimize it, just as you're doing with your health. And I see this across the board with guys that I work with, is when you improve your health, you're improving your self-awareness, you improve your consciousness, you improve the amount that you are aware of and that you see and that you feel. And it starts with the gym, or it starts with your nutrition, and you start to feel better, and you start to notice things that you didn't notice before that both work with you and serve against you. And you're more apt to say, I want that, I want more of this, I want to do that. And you want to remove the things that no longer serve you, whether it be a piece of food that you used to like, but now that you don't like because your body got smarter and it said, whoa, this is toxic food, get rid of it. Or it's a relationship, or it's a channel on YouTube or Instagram, or something within your household that needs to be optimized. And you take action on those things. And the more you optimize those things, the less toxicity, the less stress you'll have in your life. and you'll start to see that stress, the good type of stress, is more abundant in your life, and the unnecessary stress, that 90% of that stress is caused by what's going on in between your two ears in your head. You start to realize that you're really the accumulation of everything and the cause of everything in your life. Then you can start to take responsibility and correct it. Just as I could be in the gym with you and telling you to move this, correct that, optimize that, squeeze this, breathe in this way. It doesn't happen without you deciding to actually do that. And it doesn't happen without the trust between us to say, okay, do this, I'm going to do that. And you start to implement it, and you see or notice an improvement. You start to internalize it and make it your own. And now you just elevated yourself even further. And so that self-image is now becoming a higher level, or a more clear, defined self-image. And that's what's really important about this, to kind of wrap it all up, is the more defined your vision gets, the more defined your self-image, the image of yourself gets, the life you have, the world around you, the clothes you wear, the physique, the way you look in a mirror, how you feel, how you talk. All these things are a result of how you view yourself. And the more clear you get, it's like going from, I play video games with my son. We're playing a game that I used to play back in the day when I was his age. It's a game called Command and Conquer. And we pulled up the old version that I used to play, and it's all pixelated, and it's like really, it's worse than Minecraft in terms of the graphics, but it's fun to play. And then I see the games that he's playing nowadays, and they're just realistic. They're more defined. It's a higher level experience. But in the same sense, this retroactive version is a great experience as well in a different way. But my point being is the resolution increases, which increases the realness, the feelings that are exuded from that experience, right? You see an image that you like, or that you love, or that like really resonates with you, and it feels real, and you can see it within your mind, within the theater of your mind, as this book calls it, as Maltz calls it. Then you start to make it real, make it more real, make it much more real. And this is how it then is presented to us in the three-dimensional real world. Is it starts with an idea. This book started with an idea. The author wrote things down, and then ultimately created a book out of it, which I'm sure expanded into much more prosperity across the board. Just as I had an idea for a program to help guys who are struggling with hormones, energy, weight, lack of strength, lack of results, in any way, shape, or form, and to design a program that would systematically elevate you to get you to higher levels. It's starting to become a reality, and it all starts within your mind. Just as the phone or the computer that you're watching me on started with an idea. And so we have to be very intentional and very conscious of our ability to create things, and how strong and powerful our image and vision is, because most people operate after the age of 35. 95% of the thoughts that they have on a daily basis are the same thoughts over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, unconsciously. They are not conscious of those thoughts that they're having, the complaining, the mindlessly driving to Starbucks, the mindlessly driving through McDonald's, the mindlessly complaining about a situation or scenario that could be corrected by you just being consciously aware of where your physical mental state is and how to correct it. I'll notice this with posture. It's like certain times even I'll slouch, and I'm like, I open it up, I pick it up, and then I feel a lot better, right? So maybe I even just did that in between this talk here. But my body was giving me a signal like, hey, you're slouching. It was starting to feel in my back. And when I open up and pull my shoulders back, I feel a lot better. I present myself as much more confident and more in tune with who I vision myself as. So hopefully this is something that stimulates and makes you look at internally how you view yourself, how you talk to yourself, and how that leads to the creation of the thing in physical form. It leads to creating the physical thing, or the physical situation, or the real experience in this life by first imagining it. And you have to be in tune and in touch with yourself and how you view yourself to ultimately achieve those results. And I'll add one more little piece of information. This was peer-reviewed science, so this was done through a university or an organization that put up the the foundations to observe and study this. And they took three different groups, and they told them over a 12-week period to not do any strength training, but to visualize them doing strength training. And they were particularly focused on bicep curls. So they took three groups and they said, okay, we're going to have group one not visualize anything whatsoever. They're not going to visualize themselves doing any workout or anything. So that was like just the control group. Then they took another group and they said, okay, I want you to visualize yourself in the third person. So as you're viewing me right now, that's the third person, right? I see through my eyes, that's the first person. So they told the second group to just look at yourself in your mind, and you could see yourself full body doing bicep curls, right? And then they took the third group that visualized themselves in the first person. So they saw themselves, they saw their arms going up and down, squeezing, doing the whole bicep curl, and doing sets of whatever it was for it. It was all systematic. So they had them do that over the series of weeks, and they found that group one, the control group that didn't visualize anything, they didn't see any increase in strength. The control group that the other group that visualized themselves in the third person, so they saw their body and themselves doing the bicep curl, they didn't improve any significant amount in the bicep curl either. The only group that increased their strength literally and saw a significant amount of strength increase, I think it was like something to the tune of like 7-10%. That's what's coming to mind right now. But it was like there was an improvement of strength by not doing anything physically. The group that observed themselves in the first person, so actually experiencing it as if it was real in first person mode, in first person perspective, they gained a significant amount of bicep strength during that time. So that just proves, that just shows that an idea that is internalized and is felt is actually made real within. And this happens through repetition. It doesn't happen just one time. It's very rare that we get moments in our lives where it shocks us to the core, to where it changes us emotionally, mentally, physically, in every which way, in the way we think. That happens usually over time. It shapes us, or we shape it. So you have to, just as you strength train, and you would not expect to increase your bicep strength or get rid of your belly or have breakthrough results in a week's worth of training. You have to do it every week, over time, over and over and over again. Again, excellence is a habit. It's therefore what you do on a consistent basis, which ultimately dictates excellence. It's not one particular act at one given time. It's over time it is developed. So you have to set a structure in your life that allows you to visualize, develop your self-image, put time and effort into studying, into the right type of input and information. You have to constantly just make a commitment and a choice to put yourself first and to develop yourself, because you know it will improve everybody else around you and your life as well. So I leave you with that thought, and to say, pick up this book if you haven't, and put it at the top of your list, because it will influence even how you take in the information and the books that are already in your queue or on your YouTube or on your social media. And the other thing I would say is curate your content, curate your information, so that you are listening to the right things, so that you are training your automatic nervous system, your automated nervous system, to naturally circuit towards success and elevation and progress. So that's it for today's metabolic coaching call. I trust that this has served you well. Please comment below, give it a like, add any insight or takeaways, not only for the group, but for yourself mostly. So when you read these or watch these things, if something comes to mind that you want to solidify, speak it into existence. And part of speaking, you can type it, right? And it'll help solidify a key point for you that was a key takeaway. And then also, it'll help the group. It'll help provide information, and it's your way of giving intel. It's your way of giving back to those around you, and what you give is what you'll get in return. The law of giving, it's always about giving, and as a result to that giving, you will always get more in return. And so in a way, you're giving health by by claiming that information as something key for you. So that's it for now. I will see you next week, next Thursday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, same place, same Zoom account, or same Zoom address, and all for the betterment of each other and everybody around us. Take care, y'all.